Happy Easter, everyone. Normally today I would do a Cohn phone. It's Sunday. I'd like you guys to call in, but I figure maybe we should take a day off from talking about football. Maybe I shouldn't pull you away from your family so you can call in and complain about Brock Purdy or Trey Lance or how they're treating Trey Lance or how they're not giving him enough of a chance. I mean, probably let's take a day and just enjoy Easter. Wherever you go, whoever you're hanging out with, your family, just don't bug them about Brock Purdy and Trey Lance. I'm begging you. Just skip that topic. Don't pigeonhole them and say, where do you fall in the Trey Lance, Brock Purdy debate? Just be a normal person and argue about politics, okay? When I was a kid, my mom was Catholic, so Easter was like my mom's side of she would be in charge of the Easter celebration. What we would do is we would go up to Arbuckle, California. Who knows where Arbuckle, California is? To see my aunt and uncle, Uncle Oski and Aunt Jeanette. Arbuckle's like on I-5, a little bit north of Sacramento. And my Uncle Oski had an almond orchard, ranch. He farmed almonds. High roller. So we would go, and my Aunt Jeanette would make deviled eggs. So good. I love deviled eggs because of her and Easter. It's like, I was never in a big Easter egg hunt. I wasn't looking forward to the Easter egg hunt because they're not eggs and they're not deviled. They're just plastic and inside is like Hershey's Kisses, which is cool, but it's like, it's not Halloween. You know what I'm saying? So I went up there. I was excited for the deviled eggs. And then later in the day, my Uncle Oski would take me out in his orchard on his tractor, which was a lot of fun. He passed away in 1996 when I was 8. And we would still go up there and see Aunt Jeanette. We weren't blood related to her, but she was family. Then she remarried a nice man named Bob Rominger in like 2000, something like that. But they've been dating, and we eventually started going up to the Romingers for Easter. And they had a whole family thing. Uncle Oski, he was Italian. The Romingers were German, and they would do stuff like ATVs, which was fun. And, I was like 13 when I started doing Easters with them. I couldn't drive, but they would let me do the ATV. So I believe it was like 7th grade. I was out in like a gully. You go pretty fast on those ATVs, like 50, 55 miles an hour. I was going too fast in one of these gullies in an almond ranch, and I hit a bump, went over the handlebars, then flew over the handlebars. Then the ATV went airborne, went over me. I saw my life flash before my eyes. But the ATV flew over me and landed like 2 feet beyond me. Could have died. One of my near-death experiences. Cried a lot. Oh, yeah. Shook it off. And then did skeet shooting with shotguns. That was another thing we would always do. Shotguns, a lot of fun. Never had a near-death experience with that, thank goodness. It's actually really easy. Shotgun, they have those pellets and it sprays, and those little clay pigeons like fall apart if you breathe on them. So if you shoot fast when they pull, you can't miss. What's fun is if you really let them get far out there, then it becomes tougher to hit. Also, if you have 2 little clay pigeons, you got to hit them both because you got 2 shotgun pellets in there. A lot of fun. Shooting guns, driving ATVs. It's the spirit of Jesus and Easter. I don't know. I'm Jewish. I didn't really understand the Jesus connection to Easter, or really the Easter Bunny connection to Easter. But it was a good time to hang out with your family. I really hope you do. I don't really have plans this Easter. I just got back from Palm Springs where I was with my whole family. So that was sort of like a pre-Easter. Today, I'm probably just going to hang out with my wife and watch movies. Been watching a lot of movies recently. Yesterday, watched a few. Watched The Jerk. I'm watching all these like old movies that came out before I was born that everyone says you got to see, that I've never seen, that I should have seen. I'm 35 years old. So I watched The Jerk. Man, that might be one of the funniest movies ever made. Steve Martin. That was funny. Also watched The Warriors, another movie that came out in the 70s. It's famous because of that "Can You Dig It" line and a couple scenes. And I always thought it was like one of those movies that was like a cult classic for a couple scenes, but wasn't going to be that good. It's a great movie. Beautiful to look at, mesmerizing, great music. Highly recommend The Warriors. 90 minutes and a lot of fun, like riding around the subway scenes, running around Manhattan scenes. I thought it was cool. Reminded me of a game I used to play in high school called Commando, where a bunch of people would get dropped off at like the top of one street, and then they'd have to get like to a location maybe 2 miles away on foot late at night, and then everyone would be searching for them in cars. And if you found them, you beat them up. No, you just tag them, and then they'd come in the car. And It was funny called a commando, and I never knew where it came from, but it was basically the whole plot of the Warriors because they get dropped off in Bronx. They have to make it back to Coney Island, and they have to use their smarts. And they have to think with their big head, not the little head. That's what you learn in the Warriors. Because the guys that don't make it all get sidetracked along the way. Because apparently in the 1970s, it was just impossible to, I don't know. It was a different time. I wasn't born back then. But boy, whew. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to watch Evil Dead 2. Never seen Evil Dead 2. And I was wondering, it's like one of those movies, like, it's classic. Do I have to watch Evil Dead 1 before I watch Evil Dead 2? I decided no. Not going to watch Evil Dead 1. Maybe I'll watch it in the future. So I got that on tap. Then I'm going to watch some other like zombie movies. I'm going to watch Night of the Living Dead. Then I'm going to watch Dawn of the Dead. That's a little back to back. I don't know if I can fit that all in one day. I don't know if my wife will let me. Sounds like a heavy day of, horror movies. But I like horror movies. They can be fun. So that's what I'm going to do on this Easter to, honor the Easter bunnies, watch some terrifying movies. Because in a way, the Easter bunny's freaking terrifying. Like, what are you doing, dude? Running around, dropping eggs and stuff? Like, what is your agenda here? And what are you trying to prove? And how come we never see you? Where did you go? I like Santa Claus. He makes appearances. You sit in his lap. He's a nice, jolly guy. Easter bunny, no one ever sees that guy. Think about that. So hopefully you don't see the Easter bunny today, because I feel like if anyone ever did, that would be the last person you ever saw. Terrifying bunny. Whew. Easter. It creeps up on you. But so does Passover. I'm half Jewish, and I didn't even know Passover was coming up. That's another one I missed this year. I feel like a bad Jew. Now I'm having a confessional. I did Passover last year, not this year. I should have. Although I was down in Palm Springs, and they have these like Jewish delis because SoCal is much more Jewish than NorCal. And they had this place called Manhattan in the Desert. So good. They had kreplach soup. I'm 35-year-old Jew. I've never had kreplach. I was like, Dad, what's kreplach? He was like, what are you talking about? Jewish pot sticker. I was like, I don't even know we made pot stickers. I love pot stickers. Had someone told me that us Jews made pot stickers, I would have had higher self-esteem. So that had that and a corned beef sandwich. Last thing before I go. To me, I think corned beef, and I was having this discussion with my brother, corned beef is superior to pastrami. He prefers pastrami because it's like pastrami's like corned beef with like extra stuff, right? You do the corned beef, but then there's like more things that happen to it, and then that makes it better. But I don't know, man. I guess hot pastrami is pretty good, but I like the way corned beef kind of crumbles. That's my argument for corned beef. The way it kind of crumbles. I like put a lot of it, on a sandwich with some rye bread, some sauerkraut, little mustard. That was good. So I felt like even though I didn't celebrate Passover, like I indulged in my Jewishness, which is, better than nothing. So today I'm going to indulge in my Catholicness by watching Evil Dead 2. Happy Easter, everyone.